let's bring in ABC News contributor and host of the Law and Crime Network, Brian Buckmire, and ABC News contributor, former FBI agent Brad Garrett, for more on this. Thank you both for being here. Brian, the suspect faced an Idaho judge yesterday for the first time, and she said each victim was stabbed and murdered with premeditation, with malice, and forethought. Why specify that at this stage in the case? Isn't that something you'd expect to hear from an attorney?
Morning, Diane. Yeah, you would expect that from an attorney, but what I think the judge is doing is going over the elements of first-degree murder. When you're talking about premeditation and with malice, she's going through the elements of the charge so that he understands that he's facing these four murder in the first-degree charges along with these burglary charge. Typically, you would hear a prosecutor talk about the charges in more detail, but I think the defense, the judge and the prosecution really want to make sure he understood the charges he was facing.
Brad, I want to ask you about the evidence revealed in this affidavit, because police are saying that they were able to link DNA on the knife sheath, this leather knife sheath, to his father, the suspect's father, one of the big links to the suspect himself. How significant is that?
Well, it's huge, and the reason why is the car that's talked a lot about in this probable cause affidavit is important, but the car doesn't put you in the house. The DNA puts you in the house. And so the ability that he left in a sheath, probably that held the knife that killed everyone, is his DNA. And they were able to match it up initially with his father. And at some point, they'll get a court order and actually probably swab him to double check it's correct.
Brad, the suspect was studying criminology. Do you think that will present any challenges based on the evidence that the affidavit is saying he left behind? Does it seem like he had a certain level of expertise here or not?
Really?
Well, does he have an academic
Sorry, Brad, go ahead.
level? Oh, I'm sorry. He has an academic level of maybe crime, criminal behavior, etc. But he's not a criminal. I mean, he was actually on some levels I would call inept. First of all, he leaves a vital item at the scene, the sheath, and he has all of these multiple drive-bys that go on weeks, if not months, past the house. And he was there multiple times, did multiple drive-bys before he eventually went in the house a little after 4 a.m. That is not somebody that has their act together as a criminal, because criminals are aware that you can be picked up on CCTV. You never multi-surveil a place before you go in it. So none of that's going to help him, obviously, but he's just a guy that's driven by fantasy, in my view. And when you're driven by fantasy, Diane, that's all you think about.
Now, Brian, of course, this suspect is innocent until proven guilty, and he has yet to enter a plea in this case. Why do you think that is, and what happens next?
Yeah. Well, Diane, oftentimes they say innocent unless proven guilty, because it's not a foregone conclusion that they're going to prove him guilty. It's something that they've got to prove with each and every element of this case. The reason why I think he's holding off on that plea is probably to have his defense attorney collect all of this information. Don't forget, the public defender in this case isn't from the actual county that is hearing this case. She's from about 100 miles north of the court in Kootenai County. And so it's going to take a little bit of time for her to collect information, properly convey it to her client, and then probably put in a proper plea.
All right, Brian Buckmire, Brad Garrett, thank you both.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.